Look who's to my left, my main man.
Yeah!
Sterling Shepard.
Up.
Good to have you here. Of course, that's Willie. That's Jacoby over there. Mr. Giant, of course, top 5 in the history of the Giant franchise when it comes to receivers, which puts you in pretty damn good territory. Congratulations on the career. Is it now official? Is it a wrap? Is Sterling Shepard done?
No.
You're gonna make me say that?
No.
I just want to know.
No, don't say
I
it.
just want to know.
I feel like it's too early.
It's a wrap.
for me to answer that right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's gotta be a perfect situation for me to come back to the game to be completely.
And to be fair, I saw you against Dallas. It's a wrap. It's over. But I got to ask you this before we get into the playoff games coming up. One of the great joys of my life was watching you guys clown the Philadelphia Eagles in that last game. And Tyrod's trying to get you a couple extra catches there for whatever the record was, or yards. Right? I'm saying to myself, the New York Giants having a tough year, obviously, but they ended it by clowning the Eagles, and you're smiling. Everyone's having a good time. Walk me through what it was like when you looked across the field and recognized that you stole their souls.
You know what? It's been a rough couple of battles with us and the Eagles. So I definitely, if this is the end of my career, what a way to go out.
Right.
Yeah. So no, it was a good feeling, man. It was a hard-fought game, but.
Was it a hard-fought game? Was it hard-fought?
It looked pretty
Maybe not
easy fought to me.
Maybe not hard-fought, but it was a good way to end the
But what you're saying is right, because last year, of course, they beat you guys 3 times, including the playoff game.
Yeah.
So although you guys had nothing to play for in regards to, getting into the playoffs, I'm sure man-to-man it was like, look, we owe them one. And if we can at least go out beating Philly and sending them, into the oblivion, which is what you guys did, you do it. What I always want to know, and I ask Willie this all the time, can you look in like A.J. Brown's eyes or, James Bradbury's eyes, and can you tell that they've quit? Did you know that they had quit?
I don't want to say
yes.
that. I don't want to say that they quit, man. But
there are tells, though.
No, yeah. I mean, and then the second half, those starters, they didn't play.
Right.
So, it sends kind of a message without saying, but I wouldn't say that whenever I was out there on the field with those guys that they absolutely quit.
They quit. I love
it.
I'm not even a Giant fan. I'm a Jet fan. I know what quit looks like. Trust me. And they absolutely quit. Were you, let's just talk some football with you. Obviously, you got playoff games coming up. The big thing in Dallas right now is that Mike McCarthy is apparently coming back for another year. You know them pretty well, obviously playing them twice a year for your entire NFL career. You surprised McCarthy's coming back?
No, I mean, you look at it, it's 12-5 record. That's not a recipe for that's not losing football. So I think too much is
Talk to this man.
Yeah,
I try to. He thinks winning in the NFL is just like picking up a bag of chips from the store. It's hard to win one NFL game.
Fair, I haven't lost a game in Madden in like 3.5 years.
Okay, there we go.
So I expect him to go ahead.
Too much is put on the coach at times. I feel like the players got to go out there and execute, and that's what it's got to be. You can't put that all on the coach.
Yeah, to me, I look at it, and like in Dallas, it's kind of like the Yankees here. The expectation is Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, and it's a ridiculous expectation because it's been 25 years since they even got close to winning a Super Bowl. And I'm like, man, Belichick's out there. Jim Harbaugh is out there. If I'm a Cowboy fan, and I'm not, but if I'm a Cowboy fan, and I've got a guy that, had great regular season success, but only one playoff win, and then we get embarrassed by the Packers, and I could get Belichick, I could get Harbaugh, how do I not want those guys?
You know why? Because they haven't done anything. I mean, obviously, Jim Harbaugh won a national championship. Congratulations.
But that's something that ain't nothing, Willie.
Yeah, but he didn't do it in the league, right? He left a loser.
He went to a Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick.
He left a loser.
Right?
Loser.
Yeah, okay. That's how it's going to be.
Trying to help you out.
Do people respect Mike McCarthy?
I think so. I think you have to. You have to respect the 12-5 coach.
How about Nick Sirianni? He's got like that douchey, punchable face, right? Is that fair to say?
I respect him too, man. Like you said, it's hard to win in this league, and they've been able to do so. They didn't get those wins the other night. But that's just the football. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
See, I just learned a valuable lesson.
What's that?
He is not retired yet.
No.
By the way, I'm answering these questions.
He knows what he's doing.
There's a little sliver.
Yeah.
And here's what's going to happen.
He's like, listen, I got to walk back at that line.
No bridges.
I got to go back there.
By the way, it ain't going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be next month. At some point, you and your family enjoy some time away, I'm sure, and go away and just get your mind off football, refresh. And then the draft's going to happen. And then there's going to be little mini camps. And then guys you're tired with, like, oh, man, I got to go to mini camp. And then the blood's going to start going a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you're going to, I know it's going to happen. I've seen it. You're going to go out to the local high school track. I still run a 4.4.
Instagram video.
I haven't lost it. You know, my hips feel good.
Oh, he's got this thing all figured out.
My hammies feel good. I'm looking pretty good. I'm swelled up.
He's going to call Tommy D like, throw me one. Let me see if I can get a guy.
Tommy D. Boy, you talk about crazy stories. And by all accounts, seems like a good kid.
Yeah.
But he had a 3-week story like that was at Disney.
We all lived in the grace
No
of Tommy
doubt,
DeVito.
no doubt.
Yeah.
And especially for us to live in Jersey.
Right.
You know, here's a Jersey guy, and it's the cutlets and the Italian flair.
Yeah.
It seemed like that was all real, and the guys loved it.
Dude, we loved it. I mean, from the beginning of the season, Tommy's a quiet guy, so you really don't know much about him. And then he gets into the preseason game, and you see how much confidence he has. And I was like, man, it was crazy to see. And then he gets in the position where he has to go out there and potentially win us a ball game, and he gives us 3 of them. And I think it was warming to everybody else because of how much confidence he had in himself.
And let me stop you there. The craziest thing, for those of you that may not remember, is the first shot Tommy DeVito had was against our Jets, and that was when Dable wouldn't let him throw the ball.
Right.
It was
The
like,
whole second half.
it was like
3rd and
I
15.
guess he's our quarterback, but we ain't gonna let you throw the ball. Like, no joke, he threw one pass, and I think it was a screen pass, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the next week it's like ping, ping, ping. Like, what happened that week?
Man, I mean, I think it was that. Tommy probably went in there and was like, hey, man, let me throw this ball. Just knowing him, and Daves was all for it. So he showed what he could do. And
as a fellow Chubster, did he feed the locker room?
That's what? He had a whole bunch of packs of all this Italian stuff coming in, man.
Right.
He definitely gave. I got me a pack of beer. They made a beer. It was a Tommy DeVito beer.
Yeah, there's a crazy story out there, and you feel bad for the kid. Like, he signed a bunch of deals, T-shirt deals and jersey deals, and he did a deal with there's a famous Italian restaurant called Rayo's.
Yeah.
He had a Rayo's sauce deal and a pasta deal, and it was all good until Dable goes, yeah, we think we're going to put Tyrod Taylor back in because we like to win a couple games. And all of a sudden it's like, I can get a bottle of Rayo's for $1.
Right. Stop drop. Yeah.
But look, he'll have those 3-4 weeks. Look, you were an undersized guy coming out of Oklahoma. You had to prove a lot of people wrong, I'm sure, at some levels of your career. That kid had a month that if he never gets it again, he's got that month, and that'll live with him the rest of his life.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a memorable moment for him.
So what was the deal?
Just us talking.
There's some stories out there that there's some dysfunction between Dable and Wink Martindale's no longer there, and coaches yelling at each other.
Just us.
Dable became a bit of a tyrant, and what happened?
When you're losing games, everything is bad. Everything's going to be bad. And everybody's passionate about their job. But I'm down in the locker room. I'm not really hearing the ins and outs that's going on upstairs. I'm worried about what's going on in the locker room. Yeah, you can sense some of the tension between the coaches, but that's nothing that's not.
That's based on losing.
Yeah, I mean, that's based on losing. Everybody's pissed. Everybody's pissed off whenever you're losing ball games, and it's all going to roll downhill.
So when you first came into the league, who is the guy that kind of took you under his wing? Whether it's a Giant or another player. I've talked to Vic a lot about how Vic and Odell were really tight, and Vic is a younger player but still older than Odell Beckham, looked out for him.
Right.
And I wonder who's the guy for you?
Yeah, those two guys.
Odell as well?
Yeah, Victor and Odell. I mean, it was the different teachings, do as I say, don't do as I do. It was one of those type of situations. But Vic helped me out a bunch too with off the field stuff, on the field stuff. Both of those guys have been a tremendous help to me.
As you know, I'm very close with Vic. He's a dear friend, and I bust his chops about this all the time. But you're in the picture. You're in the picture. You're all the way
I
to the
knew
right.
this boat thing was going to come up. I see you do that to Vic a lot.
There you go.
Oh, man, look at it.
You're
That's
in the
back in
picture.
16.
You're like a teenager in that picture. All the way far right.
A lot of abs in
The
there.
best part of this story,
time.
which has been totally overblown, but the best part of the story is what Vic told us a couple weeks ago. I said, why was everybody wearing Timberlands? It doesn't make sense to me. And he goes, we weren't going to. He goes, Odell, who kind of orchestrated the whole thing, forgot to bring shoes. So I had an extra pair of shoes. They happened to be Timberlands, so I gave them to him. He had no shoes.
Yeah.
And then we had to go stop by Kith to go get Vic some more shoes. you know, he's all about He didn't tell you that part of the
No, he
story.
didn't.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of bits and pieces that Vic was missing out on.
No, but I'll tell you what he did tell me. Victor Cruz has his own ice cream at Kith.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, him and LeBron.
Yeah, so we had to stop by there and go pick him up some new Nikes.
And the last bit of that story I'll tell, Justin Bieber's on that boat as well. And there was a point where Justin was the captain of the ship. And he's got his hands on the wheel, and he's navigating the ship. And one of the guys went up to him and said, Biebs, we're at the dock.
We've been docked this whole time. This whole time we've been not driving the boat.
Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.